Hey guys, welcome to my studio. This video is technically for my girlfriend Holly, who asked to see the soft baby book I made for my younger son when he was a little tyke. And I also promised you guys that I would show you my studio. So this is going to be kind of a 1-2 punch. I'm going to try to make it really quick. I apologize for my appearance. I just actually got back from a walk, and this is one of the shirts of mine that has gravitated towards being a painting shirt, along with my pants, because I have, gosh, you can't even see them, paint stains all over them. Now you can. So once I wear something that gets stains on it, sorry, I'm picking up garbage off the floor. If I can't get the stain out, hence this shirt, then it moves to be studio clothing. And usually on the weekends, my poor husband gets to see me in my worst outfits, because that's when I wear all my grubbies. So I don't really know where to start. Actually, let me just give you a quick tour of my studio, then I'll get into the soft book. So first of all, okay, ignore the mess over there. I have a heater in here because in the wintertime, it gets really cold in this room. My cart full of, I can't even begin to tell you what is in here. These are oil paints, oil brushes. This container is full of oil paints. Disposable palettes, my watercolor bin with my paints, my pads, my water, my palettes, brush bins, acrylics, retardant, varnish, the best tape for sealing edges and watercolors. I save all of these little scrap pieces of paper because I use them for test paints. There's my bin of watercolor tubes. I've got gesso back there, Mod Podge, all kinds of stuff. My drawer of miscellaneous junk, business cards. Here's the fabric and the matching ribbon that I am going to be making the capris out of. Some more palettes, watercolor, pencils, acrylic paint markers, E6000, Posca paint markers, Velcro, X-Acto knife, ruler, scissors, pens, palette knives, paint brushes, Sharpies, and then my plants, my special little gifts that people have given me, the current painting I'm working on, sealed rocks for painting, more disposable palettes. Here's my desk. I don't even know if you're going to get a good look at it. This is the painting. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see it, but it's a larger painting of hollyhocks, and I was going to do this in oil, but I decided today that I'm going to do it in acrylic because I want it to dry quickly. So that's what that is. Pencils, erasers, water, brushes for that next painting I'm going to be doing. Light number 1, the soft book, which we'll get to in a minute. You can see out the blinds, that's my neighborhood, my husband's car, plant, oil, spirits to wash my brushes with, acorns that have been varnished and sealed for, this is going to be a necklace, and this is going to be a pair of earrings, and yes, those are real acorns. Another plant that has grown quite a bit, my husband put 2 hooks in for me, and I had a plant in that hanger, and it died over the weekend over the winter because I did something really stupid. I put the plant, I don't even know what I was thinking, honestly. I put the plant in the hanger with the plastic on the bottom of it, so it never actually got watered. Stupid. Light number 2. Oh no, that's not an light. That's a sun lamp. More watercolor brushes, more plants, and more orchids, plants, succulents. You know I love succulents. Orchids down here, over there. There's more succulents over there. More grow lights right there, and my oak, antique oak cabinet from my grandparents that I got from my dad, and my Lord of the Rings memorabilia, my Lego orchid, more storage and supplies. I can't even begin to tell you what all is over here. Lots of beads and jewelry making supplies. More canvases that are unfinished. Those are finished paintings that have not sold yet, that are wrapped up. Trying to give you a quick version, but lots of plants, lots of crafts and supplies. And now I will get to the soft book. That is a quick studio tour, and I am sorry that it was so quick. If there's anything you guys want to see a little bit more of, I'm happy to show you. Okay, the soft book. Sorry, Holly. So this is the book, which I made this, oh gosh, I want to say it was like 11 or 12 years ago when I first moved back to my home state from Florida. So my younger son would have been 3 or 4 years old at the time. So he's a little bit older for a soft book. I hoped that by putting a few more challenging things in the book that he might enjoy it more. It is something he played with probably 5 times, and then there's one feature in here that he played with a little bit more than other things because it was a little more advanced, and it's a learning how to tie your shoe. So what I did is I focused on more dexterity type things. When I made this, I bought a grommet punch and grommets and then binder rings. And so it's held together. It's not super fancy because it was just, like I said, something I made for him, but it is thick and it's got a lot of stuff in it. And I just got to the point where I couldn't do anymore, so I just stopped. But I'll show the front of it to you. This is the front. And this is supposed to be like, I don't know, I just made it with felt. And then I stitched it along the edges, and I just hand stitched it. I didn't have a sewing machine at the time. I don't know why that pine tree is floppy, why I didn't stitch it down. Maybe I intended to glue it. So the pages are this, gosh, I don't even know. The lighting is going to be really weird. It's like firm felt. I don't know what they call it. If I finish up this video and can look up what they call this, these pages, I just cut them all to size, like 8.5 by 11. So this was probably the hardest I worked, is making these windows, because there's multiple layers. I wanted it to look like curtains and windows and everything like that. And you unzip this, and originally I was gonna put a picture of our family in there so that he could open it up and see the picture of our family, but I never got to that. This was a lot of work, this book was. Anyway, that's the front page. So then the back is empty, and then I went to the resale shop and I bought a bunch of stuff that had buckles and zippers, and so that's where that zipper came from, and that's where this came from. It was, I don't know, off a pair of shorts or something. And so he could take this apart and learn how to do a belt that has this kind of, what do you call it? This kind of closure on it, I guess is what you would say. Oh, and then I cut this sweater up. I wanted it to be easy. I wanted something that would be easy for him to, like bigger buttons instead of little buttons for his little top hands. And so I cut this out of a sweater that was old and ragged, and just put that in there. So there's buttons and a belt. That's page 2. And then there's the back of that is empty. And then there's this, which is an attached pocket of the seasons of flowers and leaves. So you have Velcro attachments on the back of these things. And that's all I did, was I just stitched the Velcro on there, and I did this all by hand. My fingers were so raw. And then so there's like this little pouch thing, and it's stitched with this ribbon, and you've got the spring apple blossoms, right? And then you've got, I can't do this with one hand here. The leaves represent summer. And I only did a handful of pieces of Velcro. And then in the little pouch, there's like let's see, how many did I do? Yeah, I did like 5 of each. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of each. So here's, I did colorful leaves. So for fall, you can put leaves on here. Here's more of the summer. So in this pouch, I just took them all out so you could see them. I have the label down here, and like these flowers you would Velcro to the strips and put the label for spring on here. But this can be taken off and you can put this one on for fall. Whoops, I didn't line that up right, but that would go there and that would be fall. And you could put the leaves for fall on there. And that's essentially what I did for every season so that they would learn about the seasons and how to tell the difference. There's like 6 of those things. So that would be fall. Let me get this apart here if I can get it in the camera. Maybe I should lower the camera so you can see this better. Take the label off. And then I did, here's winter with the associated snowballs. And then there's the summer, which you saw at the beginning with all the summer leaves. So that would go there, and they all store in this little pouch that I stitched in there, and then they just lay flat. So that's that. And then I did this, which was another thing I bought at the resale. I cut this off of a gym bag. It's just one of those plastic buckles. And then this I bought another bag for a couple of bucks and cut this off, stitched something to it, and then it spins, you know, and they got to learn how to use the dexterity of their hands to get the lever open and hook it up to the ring. And so they learn how to do that and that on this page. So mine's a little bit more for an older kid, which is appropriate for my kid at the time. But toddlers. So then this one was funny because I made like a little jacket and it has snaps. So they can learn how to snap, you know, the jacket up. And then it also, I made pockets on the jacket. This is so silly. And I made little monies so that they could figure out change and stuff like that. So there's dollars and there's coins. It's kind of silly for a child, but of that age, I can't even get it. I'll worry about putting it back together later. So this is another thing I did. This is like just ribbon, baby ribbon I bought. It has choo-choo trains and trucks on it. It's just a piece of ribbon for them to learn how to tie. And then shoes. I bought a pair of baby shoes at a resale shop so that they could learn how to tie their shoes. And that's something that my son practiced a lot on, is how to tie his shoes. Then here's another one of those where I made a pocket, and this is all just like Angry Birds ribbon that I went around the border with. And this is what I call, let me see if I can put the camera down so I can show you, demonstrate what this is. So essentially what this is it's a make your burger. So there's bread, pickles, ketchup, lettuce, oops, that's a flower, and that's a snowball, mayonnaise, cheese, burger, another slice of bread. Pretty crazy, huh? I think I had lofty ideas back then. This was a lot of work to make, but essentially they can learn how to make their own burger by putting a slice of bread down and then maybe some mayonnaise and then a slice of cheese and then the burger, nice and hot so that it melts the cheese. And then your lettuce, tomato or ketchup, whatever you want to call that is what it is. Pickles, and the other side of your bun. And there's your burger. And then you can slide it off the thing if you want and pretend to eat your burger. I just made that out of felt. That's what that is. And this little pouch to put all the stuff in. And then the ribbon just tucks inside there too. So, and then the last thing. Oh yeah, the last thing I think was letters and or numbers. Yeah. Maybe both. I don't know. So again, a little pouch that's stitched in here. And then you can tell, like, I didn't color coordinate anything, but the whole point was to make lines on the paper like this, and then they could just stick the letters on there. I, Z, quiz. So that's what that was. I got all the letters in there. I guess I didn't do numbers. So that is the baby book in its entirety. I don't think there's any other pages, but what I did make of it was a lot of work. I should have, and I wish I would have started it probably when he was 6 months old. He probably would have gotten a lot more use out of it. However, as we all know, being a full-time working mom, to find the time to craft and do this kind of lovely stuff for our children is very rare. I hope you enjoyed my little tour of my studio, and Holly, I hope you enjoyed the soft book, and I figured it was a little bit easier to show you rather than trying to take pictures of it and send it to you, because it doesn't give the whole story. And besides, I was going to show everybody the studio anyway. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.